We're 8 hours away. 8 hours till Howie Roseman officially has to have the 53-man roster complete to start the season. That's 28 more cuts that need to be done. It's a tough day in the NFL. We're going to talk about the cuts that have already happened for the Eagles. What's next? Who's going to be those surprise cuts? And look, the Phillies won again. It's called a winning streak. It's happened before. Wow. But Rob Thomson did say Taijuan Walker is going to start again. Guys, trending in the AM, we are live, taking all your thoughts and opinions on Phillies, Eagles, Joel Embiid at the Phillies game last night. We're live in 60 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody. Welcome to Trending in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. We are live. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, you know the drill wherever you're watching. Hit that like button, that share button, that subscribe and follow button. Just smash every button you see, every button you can get a hold of to make sure everyone gets interactive and finds the show this morning. Because I have a feeling today is going to be one of those shows where breaking news happens as the show is happening. Because today is official cut down day around the NFL. The Eagles and the rest of the NFL have to get to their final or initial 53-man roster to start the season. So lots to do. The Eagles did make some cuts yesterday. They made 12 cuts. We'll get into them in a minute. Nothing surprising there. Howie has 28 cuts left to make today. Will Howie be aggressive, maybe make a trade or something? We're going to find out. That's part one of today's conversation. Part two, Phillies win again last night. Dramatic walk-off fashion against the Houston Astros. With a Bryce Harper walk-off hit. Sorry about that. And now they've got 3 wins in a row with Aaron Nola going tonight against Justin Verlander. Are the Phillies back? Or at least close to being back? And what's Rob Thomson doing? Talking and saying to the reporters yesterday before the game that we're going to give Taijuan Walker another chance. I don't want to make it all positive about the Phillies. I got to make one negative comment about the Phillies. That would be Rob Thomson or whoever's pulling the strings in the front office. Not ready to move on from Taijuan Walker and his $70 million contract, which is a joke now at this point. Literally the butt of the jokes. Just thinking in my head about all the awful jokes. Anyway, guys, I'm your host, Phil Stiefel, here. Every single morning you can find me at Beard and Knowledge. I am the master and ruler of the world. Guys, let's get right into the comments. Good morning, Anthony. How are you? Good to see you this morning. Jose in early today. From a brisk upstate New York, enjoying a nice hot cup of coffee. I got a hot cup of coffee. But I don't know anything about brisk. One final heat wave coming through the Philadelphia area yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Today's high is going to be pushing 90. Tomorrow, I know it's going to be in the mid-upper 90s. So if you got a brisk upstate New York morning, good for you. Has anyone who used to be a very solid player gone down as quickly as James Bradbury in the city? Dude was so solid for such a long time. I mean, Carson Wentz was an MVP, and he fell off a cliff. That's the quick, instant reaction to that one, Nooms. I still think the Eagles keep James Bradbury, at least on the initial fit. Will he be here on Friday next week, 10 days from now? I don't know. But I think as of today at 4 p.m., James Bradberry will be one of the 4 initial 53-man guys. I do. I just think that's the way it's going to play out. I really do. I would really wish the Harper hurt narrative would disappear. You're allowed a power outage. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, Harper, there have been some fun wins, a couple blowout wins over the weekend. But last night's, walk-off win, Bryce being the guy that, got the walk-off hit, kind of re-energized Bryce Harper a little bit. I think it's a really big deal as we're embarking on this 7-game trip or homestand against the Astros and the Braves. To start off the homestand with a walk-off win can really energize the team. And it was a really good win. Zach Wheeler pitched well. The bullpen went 4 shutout innings, which is excellent considering how bad the bullpen has been lately. So I love to see what the bullpen did yesterday. Over 30. What? Over 30 cuts left to make? My number is they've made 12 cuts so far. Don't they start at 93? They cut 12. That puts them at 81 left to make, minus 53. I got 28 left. Maybe it's 30. Maybe I miscalculated somewhere. Good morning, Bryce Bruce Harper. How you doing this morning? Ludwig Aubert. Clap, 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 clap. Not going to win this week. Sorry. We pre-recorded Fairway to Heaven last night, Jason and I. It'll drop 6 p.m. right here on Edge of Philly Sports. Gave away my picks to win the Tour Championship. Plus, we had a lot of very good general golf discussion on the recording. Good morning, John. How you doing? Good to see you in the comments this morning here over on YouTube. Guys, whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, you can comment. Get those comments in. Eagles cut down who is going to get cut and not. I'm going to also today be slightly distracted because I'm going to be checking Twitter periodically throughout the show because I have a feeling by about the 8:30, 8:45 mark, we might start to see some more names get cut from the Eagles. So I'm going to try to keep tabs on it as the show goes. If you guys see something on social media breaking on a cut, drop it in the comments and we can address it that way as well. Sometimes a pitcher's duel, Jose, is good, especially when you see the bullpen do what they did. And it was a pitching duel, but, the Phillies still had 9 hits. Everybody but Bohm and Hayes, 7 of the 9 starters, all got at least 1 hit last night. They're doing some things. The last 3 wins, been a lot of small ball play by our Phillies. Look at me being positive about the Phillies. I love when the Phillies let me be positive. Good morning, Duck. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you today? Wheeler is a stud. Well, duh. Of course he is. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball. Is Wheeler still in even an outside shot at winning the Cy Young? His ERA is still sub 2.75 on the season. I'd like to see that. I like Turner's plate discipline to take that walk before Bryce's hit. I had it on the game in the background, but I was recording my golf podcast, so I kind of missed the details of that 10th inning. But that's good. Drawing a walk to set it up, that's perfect. The bullpen did good, too. The bullpen did great. 4 shutout innings. Let me go over the bullpen last night. Kirk Green pitched an inning, gave up a hit, struck out a batter, 16 pitches, no runs. Hoffman, 1 inning, one hit, 1 walk, 12-pitch inning. Estevez completely clean, gave up no hits. 1 inning, 11 pitches. And then Matt Strahm came in for the win in the 10th. Clean inning on 8 pitches. Your bullpen went 4 innings and threw a combined 28, 30, 39, 40, 47 pitches in 4 innings of clean ball. 4 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks. No, 2 hits, 1 walk. And that's it. That's what you want to see. And that's a great outing for the bullpen last night. So far, I think they have cut 12 so far. So the Eagles' cuts so far, none of them are surprising. Wide receivers Griffin Herbert and Austin Watkins, offensive lineman Max Sharpring and Jason Poe, tight end Kevin Folsch, quarterback Will Greer. They're the offensive cuts I've seen so far. On defense, first one, slightly surprising because there was an outside chance he made the roster, Taron Jackson, Andre Sam, and Sean Stevens, guys that some people wanted to see make the team. I doubt it that they ever had a chance. Okwara, defensive end, They like him. Acquires the first name that I think they add to the practice squad with Taron Jackson. Now the cut so far made. Unfortunately, former top draft pick Zach McPherson, what was he, a third rounder? He made the cut. He got cut, unfortunately, and Percy Nickerson. Zach McPherson is the biggest name, so to say, getting cut because going into last season, he was slotted to be the starting cornerback in the slot for this team, and obviously had the Achilles tear. Just couldn't crack this super deep cornerbacks room that we now have. So, unfortunately, maybe McPherson gets picked up somewhere, but maybe he ends up on our practice squad. We'll see how that goes. I'm working on it. My opening monologue, there was some eye contact. When I called myself the master and ruler of the world, I looked right at you. We'll see about that one. Good morning, Joe. I know we all are happy. It's cut day because we are one step closer to the start of the season. But absolutely. Today has to be one of the toughest days in the NFL. Now, it's a little less tough now with the UFL, all the indoor football leagues, all the other options, expanded practice squads. What are they up to now? 16 players plus an emergency quarterback on the practice squad. There are a lot of options. But it's got to be tough on the players. It's got to be tough on the coaches, the general manager. You know, you get to know these guys over the summer. They become part of your family. And then you got to cut them. It's business. It sucks. But it is a really, really tough day for the players and management on a day like today where they've got to literally cut, 30 guys, basically. McPherson's the only person on that list so far is a no name who's actually taken snaps in regular season. Taron Jackson's never played in the regular season. He's never gotten called up. He's been on our practice squad a few times. But yeah, I mean, Will Greer, people might know the name just from his college days, but there's that. Stott maybe getting hits lately, but he seems to be swinging more for the fences. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if Stott's breaking out of his funk or just getting lucky. I'm not sure on that one yet. Phil, I don't know. I didn't know you do a golf podcast. Absolutely. Fairway to Heaven, Tuesday nights, 6 p.m. Tonight will be the season finale of season 4 of it. I've been doing that longer than Trending in the AM, just so you know. Right here on this same channel. Normally we focus in on the gambling side and the fantasy DFS golf side. Being the Tour Championship, it's tough to bet on. It's tough to do a lot of DFS lineups, so we just talked theory and stuff like that a little bit tonight. We'll do some pop-up episodes in the offseason in the winter, but then we will be back regularly weekly come January with the Century Tournament of Champions, just so you know. What's going on, Philly? What's happening with Bradbury? I personally think he makes the team. In my opinion, Bradbury makes the team to start. Now, I think Howie Roseman is going to be very aggressive. And you guys can answer this in the comments. Do you think Howie Roseman will be aggressive picking up waiver wire guys? Or do you think I see a lot of people thinking and feeling that he's going to make another Chauncey Gardner-Johnson type trade over the next couple of days? Now, depending on what those moves are, Bradbury might get cut eventually. But by 4 p.m. today, if Howie doesn't have any trades happening, James Bradbury's on this roster. That's just my opinion. That's from everything I've seen. Him not dressing for the third preseason game tells me that he's a lock. That's just my opinion. Taron Jackson, who played also, yeah, that's what I said. I thought he played some. Not many, but some. Bruce Bryce Harper. It's called Fairway to Heaven right here. Edge of Philly Sports. Absolutely. Yes. I love golf too. I do. Maintaining eye contact is like keeping your left arm straight in golf. It's an acquired skill. Yeah. I can't keep my left arm straight at all. No way. No how. Oops, wrong one. I see you. I'm looking and I see. Zeke. Yeah, it's Zeke, Zach. Whatever. It's all the same. Zeke, Zach, Zonk, whatever. I'm a little psycho this morning. There has been this way out there rumor that Dallas would trade for Bradbury. I think it's BS. Yeah, I doubt Jerry Jones and Howie Roseman doing business. What did Jerry Jones say yesterday after the breaking? We're going to get into it. The CeeDee Lamb news, his huge, massive contract. What did Jerry Jones say? Nobody can effing do this job like me. Jerry Jones is a dope, plain and simple. But they did lose Richard Bland, for like 8 weeks. So they are in the market for a cornerback or a defensive back. So, yeah, maybe. But I doubt we would do business with them. Wheeler throwing 50-plus pitches in 4 innings had me scratching my head. Too many, too early. Yeah, I don't know that. Is a USFL player. Be a good spot for him to go and get some game experience and get some of his, I don't know what you want to call it, some of his steps back, some of his, whatever he's missing from missing all that time. Some of his speed back. I think Bradbury makes the team, Felix. I do. We'll see. Let me refresh Twitter right now as we're speaking, because I feel like there will be moves getting made as we go here. I've seen other moves from other teams, but yeah, I think we'll find out pretty soon. We talk about Liv all the time on the show, and I address ways to improve the PGA Tour by bringing Liv golfers back and kind of bridging the gap. I discussed it at length last night when we recorded tonight's show. So tune in tonight, Fairway to Heaven, 6 p.m., and you'll get my taste of what I think the PGA Tour and Liv should do to kind of bridge that gap. See, I'm not going to give you the answer. I'm going to tease it and make you watch the recording tonight at 6 o'clock or anytime after 6 o'clock that you want to jump in and listen to it. Tyron Jackson was the flavor of the 2022 preseason month, I think. Maybe he was. I don't know. I mean, I'm not worried about losing Tyron Jackson. Nobody that was cut yesterday is a shock, John thinks he's going to make a couple of trades. Okay. Rank them. 1, 2, 3, John. The positions you want Howie to target in the trade market. 1, 2, 3. Give me your thoughts. Trade to a team that has injuries at cornerback. Yeah, I mean, it sounds easy. Let's just trade James Bradbury. But James Bradbury's got a big cap hit. It's like $13 million. James Bradbury is on the decline. I don't know. I think he makes the team. I know it's crazy, but I think it is. I saw it. I said, I'm not going to bite. I'm not going to bite. I'm not going to bite. And I bit. Yeah, Nick Wrong. Or I think somebody said we should start calling him Nick Wrong. Had the Cowboys win in the division. Washington second. The Eagles third. That's bogus. Just clickbait media BS. Howie is never done dealing. That is true, K1. Never done dealing. And that's good. That's a good thing. We still have about $24 million in cap. We can pick up anyone off the waivers and cuts without issue. That's true. Now, I don't think he wants to spend all $24 million of that cap space. Some of that can roll over. I don't know how much you're allowed, but I know you're allowed to roll over some of that next year. There will more guys. Milton Williams needs his extension. We're getting closer to a Jalen Carter extension or a Jordan Davis extension. So there are other moves that have to happen. So you don't want to spend all that $24 million on the waiver wire, but there is moves that can be made. Cool. Yeah. Unfortunately, you're finding out about it on the season finale because we just go January to September with the show every year. We go from Century Tournament Champions towards Tour Championship, and that's it. We don't do the fall swing. I'll trade them to the Chargers and add a fourth so they take the cap hit. I still think when you trade a player, Felix, I'm no cap expert, but I think even if you trade a player, you still get some kind of cap ramifications by doing it. Just don't ask me what those ramifications are, because again, I am nowhere near a cap expert in any form. Like, I don't pretend to be one. I did not stay at a Holiday Inn. There's a real relevant reference right there from me. I just don't. I don't think they would trade him and include a pick, because I still think there would be a cap hit that would affect him or affect them in some way. Somebody that's smarter than me can answer that. I hate that Zach pronounces it Zach. Yeah. I mean, I used to have a guy that used to comment on this show all the time. and he spelled his name the same way, but he pronounced it Zeke and not Zach. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. Jose saying, is picking up an edge rusher still in play? Absolutely, it's in play. If I'm Howie Roseman, I'm looking at safety depth, I'm looking at offensive line depth, and I'm looking at a rotational piece at edge. I doubt I'm looking at somebody like, who was it? Where are my notes? Ernest Jones, who could play off the edge, outside linebacker. I doubt they'll go big time with a big name in any position, but crazier things have happened. Yeah. Matty B hates the fact that, today's like Howie's like Christmas morning. He gets to wheel and deal, cut, add, trade, do everything like that. And he's excellent at it. Excellent. I love this, John. Safety, inside linebacker, tight end, in my opinion, is still, I think it's like this is like deja vu. Tight end is still an issue to me. Like, I know the Eagles are hyped on Grant Calcaterra. I know the Eagles are hyped to make him tight end too, and he's supposedly improved his blocking skills. But you got Grant Calcaterra, you got Dallas Goedert, who misses time every single year, and you got nobody or E.J. Jenkins, and that's it. That's not shouting good backup depth at tight end for when Dallas Goedert goes down. Just saying. A backup tight end and bouncing Calcaterra back to a third-level tight end might be the best option. Bradbury's contract is untradeable. He has to get cut. Yeah. Which is why, before any trades get made or waiver wire pickups get picked up, the initial 53, JB's going to be on it. Why cut a guy, a depth piece, and just eat that contract? If the Phillies won't cut Taijuan Walker, why would the Phillies, cut James Bradbury? James Bradbury's had more recent success than Taijuan Walker. With you, Bradbury stays, tons of experience. What helps if someone gets injured? Keep the depth. Yeah, I don't see a reason to just waste, unless you find a better option out there in a trade or waiver wire, Freddie. I don't know why you would. I don't know why you would cut him at this point. He learned the position of safety a little bit. And the fact that he didn't dress on Saturday tells me that they've already made their mind up, which is him making the team. CB Fuentes, good morning. Yeah, you like this? Yeah, I was going through the drawer, see what I was going to wear to work today. It's going to be a hot one. I got to get some of these dry fit shirts for the hot days. So I figured, you know what? I'm feeling a little dupe today, okay? Make sure you check out Steve when he does Attacking Third, his Union podcast. Can ELP trade Matty B to Jacob? Oh, my God. No, just put Matty B with Big Sills over there. That would be a fun conversation to watch the two of them go at it. And their dumbass takes. No, I love them. Matty B, not Big Sills. New York Giants cut Tyree Jackson. We can bring him back for the practice. Greg Ward. Do not want Greg Ward back. Mr. 20 catches for 44 yards. Look, Greg Ward, if I was the Eagles, I would call Greg Ward and be like, look, yeah, your NFL career ain't going anywhere. It's not. Would you like to come back to Philadelphia on a coaching level? Greg Ward is a well-respected person. He's a great locker room leader. Players love him. He just doesn't provide anything to a football team. Is Greg Ward used to be a quarterback in college. He's learned wide receiver. He can play special teams. Can you make him some kind of coaching intern this year and then find a spot in the coaching staff for Greg Ward? I don't know if he wants to do that. I'm sure he wants to keep playing and collecting that paycheck. Just saying. I wouldn't waste a practice squad spot on him. Maybe you can get him on a coaching contract. I don't know. That's just me. That's what I would do. $15 million cap hit if they trade Bradbury. Yeah. So their $24 million cap hit goes to 9 for trading him. I don't know. I think it's 13 or 14 if we cut him. It's a little bit less if we cut him. Who's the enforcer? I don't know, but I am the master and ruler of the world. Another year with the chain gang. NFL wants to stay old school. Yep. Really concerned about Nolan Smith. Edge might be the number one issue. I agree. I don't know if it's the number one issue, but it's definitely up there. Definitely up there. And the fact that Nolan Smith on Saturday was still playing in the second quarter of that football game. I think it was like a minute and a half left. It was after the 2-minute warning in the first half, and he was still on the field. James Bradbury. Let's put the Nolan Smith concerns in a way that everybody can understand. Nolan Smith played on Saturday in preseason game 3. James Bradbury did not. Tell me about that. I like EJ Jenkins too. Sure. But come on now. Dallas Goedert goes down. Are you really confident with Grant Calcaterra and EJ Jenkins? I mean, you got AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, John Dotson, Saquon Barkley, so you don't really need it, I guess. But we do know that Kellen Moore does like to run 12 personnel. I don't know. You missed Dick Rogers? Okay. He always seemed to be a nice depth tight end, yeah. Yeah. Man. Carton, Taijuan Walker out on the mound over and over is the definition of insanity. Absolutely. What is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Well, they never come. But on the flip side, knowing Rob Thomson, how whatever he touches turns to gold, who doesn't think that Wednesday when he goes out there again against the Houston Astros, he's going to throw 5 shutout innings or something like that? Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. But the distance between insanity and genius is only measured by success. Elliot Carver said that once. If you know, you know. Matty B is greater than Big Sills by a million. Yeah, I agree. Big Sills, it's not Big Sills. It's Big Silly Man on this show, Freddie. We call him Big Silly Man, Dan Silly Man, just so you know. Absolutely, the master and the ruler of the world. Rest in peace to Big. If you guys missed it, I've got my header down below under my name as master and ruler of the world. That is in honor of one of the greatest big men wrestlers to ever walk the planet, to ever step in the squared circle. Psycho Sid. Sid Udy is his real name. Psycho Sid, Sid Justice, Sid Vicious, passed away and lost his battle with cancer. It was announced yesterday afternoon by his son. I loved Sid Vicious as a kid. I actually think out of all wrestlers, when I was a kid in the early 90s watching wrestling, The Undertaker didn't scare me. Psycho Sid Vicious scared me with his eyes wide open. And he just had such a menacing presence. Jacked. The curly, greasy blonde hair. Mullet. And also Sid Vicious, broke his leg similar, well, not doing the same thing as me, but when he broke his leg jumping off the top rope in WCW in the late 90s, and his leg just snapped in half and was dangling like this. It's basically what my leg was doing when I broke it, just dangling like that. Yeah. So I am trying to honor Sid as many times as I can today because he was definitely one of my favorites to watch as a kid growing up. Greg Ward got signed already. Okay, gotcha. Who's Rick? Give me that details. Coaches also love. Everybody loves Greg Ward. How is he not 30? He should be 45, 50 at this point. My God, 2019 when he came off the practice squad seems like ages ago. Yeah, I think he could do that as well, but according to Rick, somebody already signed him. Phil, why do you think the Eagles have a problem with Nolan Smith? Well, I don't know if they have a problem or not, but what I do know is that they think they have a problem. You don't play a major contributor that's going to get major snaps in the third preseason game if you're confident in their skill set. Just going to say that. Many, many teams don't have incredible tight end depth. That is true. Very true. That's a very fair point on the tight end thing. Oh, my goodness gracious. Timmy Sullivan is in the house today. What is wrong with the world? Have you ever think that they want Nolan to get as many reps as possible because they want to replace Reddick? You don't play Nolan Smith if he is part of your plan to replace Hassan Reddick in the third preseason game. Okay? You don't. James Bradbury didn't play. Okay? Bryce Huff did. Bryce Huff has just as few snaps, as, well, maybe a little bit more, but it's not like he's got loads of experience. Nolan Smith is going to be part of the team. Nolan Smith is going to get reps and snaps. But I don't think the Eagles fully trust Nolan Smith yet, Tim. I don't. I think Nolan Smith is just getting the reps he missed last year. That's what everyone keeps saying. And I just think the complete opposite of that. I just think that the Nolan Smith situation is they're still trying to find some hope with this guy. I don't think they have hope or an understanding of who or what he is. That's right, Eric. Rest in peace, Sid Vicious, the master of the power bomb. Reunited. Yep, absolutely. You know, again, like I said, Sid Vicious, when I saw him for the first time in the early 90s watching Saturday Morning Wrestling or whatever replay that was, and I see him come out on the stage, and he just had this look of, like, intimidation. Like, if you can groom wrestlers to have an intimidating look, Psycho Sid, watch how he comes out. When the first time he debuted, I don't know if it was in WCW or WWE, well, WWF back then, he came out and he had that circling podium, and he stood there with the spotlight, and he just circled that little thing, and then he stepped forward. My God, how can you not be intimidated as a kid? That's true, K1. You can't blame anybody on the Eagles defense from last year because Sean Desai, Matt Patricia combo was bad. Yes, it is the same. If we cut him after the season, the cap hit goes down to $10 million. Man, that is a bad cut. Yeah, absolutely. Baby. Who you know, Adam Cole, baby. Smith will have a breakout year. Remember when I said Bohm would hit 300? Yeah, I remember that, and he might get to close to 110. But he's a little struggle right now. He's down to, 292 right now? I don't know. I hope he does. About 2-3 weeks ago, Tim, on this very show, I predicted Nolan Smith will lead the team in sacks. But every day that passes through preseason games and training camp, I'm starting to doubt my own prediction. I said he will lead the team with 9.5 sacks this year. I'm doubting that prediction at this point. I don't see anything about Greg Ward getting picked up. Oh, no. We got a battle. We got a battle now on that one. Who knows? Nope, Greg Ward hasn't played a snap since 2021. Well, he was on the Colts training camp roster. He got cut. Rick says he was picked up. Duck says he wasn't. I don't know. We'll see. Sid had the best powerbomb after Nash broke the Giants' neck and stopped slamming people. Yeah, there's something about it, like the snap in his powerbomb. It just looked powerful. It did. And I didn't know the Nash broke the Giants' neck. Never heard that one before. Interesting. Ward got picked up by Indy, but was just cut by him. Yeah, that's what I know, but anyway. Sid was the greatest big man heel. That guy and Macho Man are the two guys who could turn heel immediately without a buildup. Absolutely. And I was watching highlights of Sid. Sid was actually really athletic. You know, someone had him in like a leg scissor around his neck while he was laying on his back. And 6'9", 330 pounds or whatever he was billed as. That dude was able to do kick-ups. Like, I saw him do a kick-up in a highlight video I watched last night of him. And, like, I never would have thought that Sid Vicious was athletic enough to do a kick-up. Obviously, pre-breaking his leg into a million pieces. Nolan Smith gets at least 8 sacks this season. Well, like I said, about 3 weeks ago, I predicted 9.5 to lead the team. I am doubting that prediction. I hope I'm wrong for doubting Nolan Smith. I hope I'm wrong in saying that they are concerned about Nolan Smith. If Nolan Smith leads the team in sacks this year, it's a big win for the Eagles. And they don't need another defensive end if he does that. But we'll see. Max who? Rundown cuts. Well, you already did. Ric Flair is the nature boy. Sid Vicious was brought into WCW to be the Four Horsemen's enforcer back in the day. People forget he was sort of part of the Four Horsemen there. It was a powerbomb. Nash started dropping people, not slamming them. Nash hurt the Giant because he dropped him wrong in WCW. Not sure. Yeah, I don't remember that one, but yeah, okay, interesting. Greg Ward is this era's. Well, Jordan Matthews is still this era's Jordan Matthews. We talked about him a little bit yesterday. The fact that Jordan Matthews is still in the NFL is just insane. The fact that Jordan Matthews isn't 47 years old yet, it's crazy to me. It's crazy. It's nothing. What's up, Moves Brown? Okay. It's nothing no one ever showed us that he would lead us in sacks. I guess that's just the hope I hear. I keep hearing you mention. Yeah, look, me saying he was going to lead, somebody's got to lead. You don't have Hassan Reddick to lead your team in sacks. Somebody's got to do it, Brown. Nolan Smith was a first-round pick, little over a year ago. So you got to hope that your first-round picks produce. He hasn't yet. He didn't last year. He was hurt. Some of last year's struggles, he was hurt, missed most of camp, struggled to get on the field early in the season. You got to hope that he can replace some of Hassan Reddick's sacks. So I don't like to lean on hope, but kind of have to with defensive end right now. Had the best entrance music for Psychos? Absolutely. The guy had so many. Who had more nicknames? Sid Udy or Johnny Morrison? John Morrison, Johnny TV, Johnny Impact. You had Sid Vicious, Sid Justice, Psycho Sid. Change his name every other minute. But y'all knew who he was. When his presence was seen on a TV camera, or if you got to see him in person, I never got to see him in person, you knew there was an intimidating person coming out. Except it was spelled Psycho with an S, and I don't know why. Greg Ward was picked up by Indy, but got cut yesterday. No, it's all good. See, that's why I was saying, Greg Ward was cut. I think it was 2 days ago, actually. But yeah, Jordan Matthews, a tight end too. Jordan Matthews he's sticking around. Check. He just sticks around. He trapped me. He trapped the Carolina Panthers into thinking he was a tight end, basically. Yeah, he's got unbridled enthusiasm. That's how he stays around. I think they were leaving Smith out there because he didn't have enough snaps since coming from the injury. They just want him to get as many looks as possible. I hope so. That's what everyone keeps telling me on this show and on Twitter. I hope so, Duck. Am I positive? I don't know. But I hope so. Yes, he is. He is. And the Panthers are going to be a pretty bad team this year. Definitely going the over. Yeah, we haven't hit one ad read yet, and we're 37 minutes in. So, yeah, we're definitely hitting the over on that one. Jordan Matthews is also playing now as a tight end with the Panthers. Yes, he is. Brown says, I don't understand why no one is taking Nolan for his word. He said he wanted to go out there and get the reps. I don't know. You don't risk injury of an important aspect of your team if you're 100% confident. Yeah, Nolan, you want the snaps, but we need you for the regular season. Can't have you hurting yourself. Sorry. Like, that's what would happen, in my opinion. But I could be wrong. Eagles has the luxury of Smith watching a lot last season. This year he needs to be up to game speed, hence the snaps. Maybe. Jordan Matthews equals drop to miss. What? Drop to miss prime. No, he's not dropping that much if he's still playing. Most nicknames winner is, yeah, absolutely. For sure. But I still remember the first time I saw Rocky and they go over all his nicknames. Like, Jesus. I love it. Johnny Bust. Okay. It's probably one of Johnny Morrison's names, too. Sid turned on HBK. Absolutely. Botched powerbomb because Sean was too light in the the powerbomb him a few more times. You don't give me the night off. All you give me is respect. Hey, rest in peace to Sid Vicious, my man. Nolan Smith is too little. There might be something to that. There might be. You know what? There's something to? How awesome SherryTickets.com is. If you need tickets to a sporting event, concert, theater, go to the best. Go to SherryTickets.com. Family owned and operated since 1946. Great prices, no hidden fees. The price you see is the price you pay. And check this out. If you use promo code EOP10 when you check out, not only will you have these great prices, you're going to save an additional 10%. So go to SherryTickets.com. Family owned and operated, like I said, since 1946. Get your tickets to any sports event, concert event, theater tickets, and save with the best. Don't overpay with the rest. Save with the best. SherryTickets.com. Back to the comments. Nope. What? Only a night. Watch Fairway to Heaven tonight. I had Jason rolling with some of the segues I did for Fairway to Heaven, just so you know. Well, he was cut already. So yeah, I guess so. He was cut a long time ago. He was like one of the first cuts yesterday. That is Slater Smith. Neat to get David Archer to use. Yeah, is that what it is? Is that what it is? Let me real quick here. I'm gonna go back to my Twitter page here. Let's see if any breaking news has happened this morning since the show has gone live. Lou Nichols, running back cut. That was just dropped by Andrew DeSecco. I don't know how to say his last name. He just dropped that information. Jack Stoll was just cut by the Giants. Tight end depth, Eagles. Interesting. Jack Stoll's available. I would not be shocked if the Eagles brought Jack Stoll back, honestly, now that I see that. Just going through here. Giants waving wide receiver Isaiah Hodgins. That's about all I see right now on the waiver wires right now. But Lou Nichols, running back. One or two running backs are going to be on the Eagles practice squad for sure. Smith. I already went over that. Okay. Nobody cares about Will Greer, Mad Chatter, just so you know. Ben DiNucci cut. Yep. Who cares? He sucks. Yep. Oh no. Oh, I just saw it just now. I just saw it as I was refreshing through social media in the middle of the show here. Didn't check the timelines. Bring Stoll back. Bring back Stoll for the, yeah. It's where Howie gets it wrong on defense. We don't need Boston Scott-sized linebackers and edge rushers. It's true. It's true. Nolan Smith, taller and heavier than Reddick. How's he? Is he really? He definitely doesn't play taller and heavier. To me, he appears smaller. Just the eye test. And obviously I can't see very well, so maybe that's part of it as well. Stoll can just block. That's it. EJ Jenkins is a better option. Probably. I do hate it. I made a joke on Twitter yesterday. Over under 47.5 players that are cut that Eagles Nation will tweet out, Howie, bring this guy in. Jack Stoll's instantly. That's how I saw that Jack Stoll was cut. I just refreshed Twitter and saw a boatload of people saying, bring Jack Stoll back. But you know what? Whoever makes this Eagles roster today, if you want to see the Eagles play in person, at home or on the road, go to phillysportstrips.com. They are the premier travel and tailgate company in Philadelphia. Obviously, their trip to Brazil is sold out. 10 days away till Brazil actually kickoff happens, which is shocking. 10 more days of saying Brazil on this show. Maybe 12, 13, because I'll probably say it on the Monday afterwards as well. But phillysportstrips.com, let me tell you, go to their website, sign up, mention EOP and trending the name when you do that. They offer great tailgates in Philadelphia. You can go on the road to see your Philadelphia Eagles take over in Tampa in September. New York, the Meadowlands, for Saquon Barkley's return to New York in October. The biggest horror flick in the world, the bus trip to Baltimore, December 1st. That'll be a nice tailgate experience, a day trip right there. And, of course, Dallas Week, November 10th, Birds take over of Dallas Stadium. And Jerry Jones, who does his job better than effing everybody, as he likes to say. phillysportstrips.com. Check them out, and you will not be disappointed. Speaking of Dallas, let me fire through some of these. And speaking of Dallas here, Dear Phil, tell me a topic that is important to you so I can say who cares. If Will Greer is important to you, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Nolan Smith, 6'2", 238. So he's literally me with like 15 more pounds on him. That's not good enough. Yeah, we knew that already. That happened a couple days ago. Smith has a technique to hone. It is pretty obvious. Yes, Reddick 6'1", 240, so he's a little heavier, a little shorter. Interesting. Feels bigger. Feels bigger for sure. Nolan Smith just doesn't have enough games to feel out the speed of the league. No one's comparing them. What we're saying is we need to hope to fill the void. That's what we're hoping for. We're getting mixed numbers here. Nolan Smith is coming into his second season. He'll develop into a good player. Got to give him some time. A lot of people wanted to cut Brandon. Absolutely. I am not one of the people saying Nolan Smith is a bust. There are people, Beansy on Twitter, if you're watching, you text me, you message me every time I say anything about Nolan Smith, that bust. See, I told you so. So just so you know, stop being analytical and logical. Embrace the narrative. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, probably happening. But to the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones saying he's better at his job than effing anybody, and no one can effing do the job like him. First off, Jerry Jones dropping F-bombs in interviews is pretty hilarious. Finally, the Cowboys got their deal done, Eagles Nation. 4 years for CeeDee Lamb, $136 million, $100 million guaranteed. I think it was like a $38 million signing bonus. Second highest paid wide receiver in football. So Jerry Jones gave CeeDee Lamb $136 million yesterday, where Howie Roseman gave $167 to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. So for $30 million more, Howie got 2 elite wide receivers versus 1. So first off, CeeDee Lamb is a very, very elite wide receiver. One of the 5 or 7 best wide receivers in football. Hands down, probably top 3. And if you had a better quarterback, you put CeeDee Lamb with someone like Patrick Mahomes. Oh my God, the numbers he'd put up. Or Tom Brady. But Jerry Jones is an idiot. Again, you're paying your wide receiver before you've got your quarterback situation figured out, before you got your trenches figured out on the offense and defensive line, before you got Micah Parsons happy. It's bad football business, first off. Secondly, doesn't seeing that contract make you appreciate Howie Roseman a little bit more? Because I kind of feel like it does. When you can get AJ and Smitty locked up for 167, but the Cowboys are out here giving 136. Now, Jamar Chase and Brandon Ayuk got to be drooling after seeing that CeeDee Lamb contract. Baseless hot take. JJ is delusional and is going senile, but continues to buy talent, ignoring the cap. But since he's on the committee, no one is calling on him. I see. Maybe. Phil, K1, K1F8. What? I don't get that one. Jerry Jones, Mr. Brunson. I like that. That is probably the most accurate. I don't get what the K1F8 means. I've seen people say that before. I don't get it. I don't know what K1F8 means. I don't. Sorry. Legal name for David Archeri. Yeah. Is that what it is? Deion Kane balling out on the Bills. Good luck with that. There's a practice squatter for sure. I agree. David Archeri is the man to call for that. Yeah. Is it? Nope. I'm watching. I'm doing what I do here. I know you've been begging to come on for a long time. I know. But if I have a guest on, then I can't run through 143 comments in 47 minutes. Deion Kane hasn't played ball since Princeton. He's like 50. Yeah, exactly. Smitty got bamboozled. Yo, what did Smitty get? $75 million or something like that in his extension? Like, I know CeeDee Lamb is better than Devontae Smith, but is he $50 million better than Devontae Smith? I don't know. I don't know. Just saying. If you know, you know. Don't forget Jalen Hurts' cap hit is $13 million and Dak Prescott cap hit is $50 million. Oh my, it's insane. We got a cap wizard and a cap cheater going head to head. Howie Roseman, Jerry Jones. Yeah. What's Dak? I mean, I still don't even know what they're going to do. You paid all this money to CD. They're already in cap hell. How are you going to pay Dak Prescott? How are you going to pay Micah Parsons? Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be 3 stars and a bunch of practice squad on the Cowboys in a year or two. I think. I don't know. Maybe we should hire David Archeri to do a little investigation into the Dallas Cowboys. Whether you need a workers' compensation lawyer, motor vehicle accident, personal injury, criminal law, call the best in the state of Pennsylvania. Call David Archeri, cherryinjurylaw.com, 610-565-0300. I guarantee you he will fight for you and get you what you deserve. Again, David Archeri of the Cherry Law Firm, 610-565-0300, or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Boom. Drop the mic on the under on that one there for you guys. Just to make sure that Mista doesn't win too much money. CD. Phil, you like CDs? Still got probably about 100 CDs over there. I don't have a CD player, but there you go. Smitty took haircut to keep the dynamic duo a pay cut. I gotcha. In all honesty, so did AJ. I do agree to an extent that they probably could have gotten more on the open market or if they held out. But that's also part of the team dynamic. I bet no, this is just theoretically speaking. If CeeDee Lamb played for the Eagles and not A.J. Brown. But everything else about the Eagles was the same. Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni, Howie Roseman, everything was the same. CeeDee Lamb probably signs for a little bit less to keep the team together, to keep the dynamic duo, to keep the squad together, to give us the best chance. Nobody in Dallas thinks they're winning a Super Bowl this year. None of those players think they're really going to win a Super Bowl. They might tell you, but they don't believe it. You guys and those cherry bombs. Supposedly Dak won $60 million. I saw that. God, no way Dallas can afford that without shedding lots of talent. Absolutely. I still think he plays for the Raiders next year or another team. It's going to happen. But with the cost of contracts, again, where Howie Roseman succeeds, he gets these contract signs before the market jumps. You know, Jalen Hurts is what? The 5th or 6th highest paid quarterback now? His contract looks like a steal. Dak Prescott wanting $60 million is insane. Yes, I know, but I mean, that's what the market dictates. Every quarterback that signs that's even remotely good wants to sign the biggest contract. And the next one to sign is the next biggest. And the next one to sign is the next biggest, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, we hit the under all right. Every time you put an eye out there, it makes me look and I can take a deep breath. Because sometimes talking nonstop for an hour and a half, is exhausting. I don't know. Someone go to Spot Track and look up the Dallas Cowboys salary cap situation. Please, because I don't know. Someone said earlier that they finagle it. Well, Duck did, I think. CD. Here we go. I call shenanigans on the over. Hey, I might have put a large bet on the under today. Yep. I had a big bet on it. My bankroll needed a little fix, so I finagled it. I bet on myself. Just Pete Rose me, kick me out of morning show talk world. I'm basically the Pete Rose of ad reads and segues and over-unders right now, basically. This is Dak last year, Cowboys, probably. Dak is not getting $60 million anywhere. I don't think he will, but I know why he's asking for it. He will get a big contract. He will get at a minimum a Jalen Hurts level contract. Average annual salary. I don't know if anybody will give him a 5-year deal. How old is Dak at this point? Is he 30 yet? He's got to be, right? He's got to be like 30. I can see Dak getting like a 4-year, something like Tua got. 4 years, $210 million contract somewhere. A lot of guaranteed money up front. I want to date with Carmen Electra, but I'm not going to get it. Oh, man. Where the hell did that come from? Cowboys cap space. 8.152, 26. Interesting. 31. Dak is 31. Okay. So, yeah, you're not going to give him a 5-year deal. Heck, actually at 31, after this season, you might not even give him a 4-year deal. So a 3-year deal for Dak, maybe fully guaranteed, maybe. Whoever signs him, a team like the Raiders probably would overpay to get Dak, to kind of turn their franchise around in Las Vegas. Somebody like the Raiders might give him a 3-year, $160 million deal, 3-year, $170 million deal. Maybe even 3 years, 180. Oh, Anthony, no way he's going to get 4 years, 260. Let me do my math here. That's over $60 million a year. No way he gets $260 million over 4. I doubt it's that high. Just because Dak wants to. I know it doesn't mean he's going to get it. I don't think that 8.1 includes the update. Yeah, it probably does not. And I don't know contracts. I don't understand the salary cap. They gave him like $38 million signing bonus, $100 million of it's guaranteed. There's so many things that go into these contracts that it's too damn complicated. And Howie has ruined salary cap for me because Howie Roseman finagles it so damn well. I don't even know what a salary cap is. That would be the most Raider deal ever. Absolutely. But the Dallas Cowboys, I know Nick Wrong predicted the Cowboys to win the division, Commanders second, Eagles third, Giants fourth. And again, he's wrong, hence his name, Nick Wrong. But if the Cowboys are going to win it, it better be this year, right? Because that Dak contract's got to come up. That Micah Parsons contract's come up. The extension of, CeeDee will bump up. They got to win it now. They got to go all in now, the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think they're good enough. But I'm working on my updated post-preseason power rankings. And I do think the Cowboys may crack the top 10. I don't know. I'll have that out next week. Still working on it. He's getting a 3-year roughly for $155. Almost all of it guaranteed with a nice upfront signing bonus. $155 would be just 51 and change a year. What's Jalen Hurts getting? 52 a year? Or 51 a year? I forget. I would put it, if the Raiders are doing it and they're going to want to outbid everybody, I would put it a little bit higher. I think 3 years for 155 is actually, because again, I've said it before. Take Dak off the Cowboys. I'm a Dak Prescott fan. I think he's a very good quarterback in a very terrible situation in Dallas. I've always been a big supporter of Dak Prescott and his game. I liked him at Mississippi State. When he came out of the draft, I wanted the Eagles to draft him. I actually did. That was the year we drafted Nick Foles, I believe, right? Was it the Nick Foles year? I think. But I wanted the Eagles to draft Dak Prescott. I like Dak Prescott's game. I can't root for him because he's a Dallas Cowboy. So I hope he gets out of there. Dak may end up in New York. Absolutely. Absolutely agree. This will be the last year of the Daniel Jones era. I doubt he makes it even Daniel Jones to week 6 as a starter in New Jersey Giants land. And I love how you put NJ next to the Giants all the time. Just so you know, I do notice that, and I do like it and appreciate it. We've gone over this before, where Dak could go. The Giants, the Raiders. There's a lot of teams that would like to have Dak Prescott. So. What? Why would you cancel my golf show? Who are you? Spot Check has CeeDee's cap hit at $18 million this year. I believe that's their cap space with CeeDee's new contract included. Yeah. I don't even know how 100% accurate Spot Track is. I mean, everybody refers to it for basketball and football contracts. I don't even know. The Auburn Wind is a contract that blows. What? Autumn Wind? What? I don't even understand that. I don't. But what I do understand is that Dolan's Bar has been the quintessential Irish-American dive bar in Delaware County for the last 65 years. Great food, great times, 24 East Sellers Avenue, Ridley Park, DolansBar.com, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Make sure you check them out. Make sure if you do go in there, you mention to PJ and crew that EOP, Edge of Philly Sports, and Trending in the AM sent you and recommended them. That would be great, guys. Dolan's Bar in Ridley Park, DolansBar.com. Don't miss out on the best Irish-American dive bar there is in Delco. I could use it today. I could. I really could. So, all right, guys, you're watching Trending in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. I am Phil Stiefel. As you can see, if you're watching this, wherever you're watching this, like, share, subscribe, follow, retweet, do all those things. The more people that get in the conversation, the more fun we can have, the more discussions we can have. What are we talking about? Eagles cutdown day. Is James Bradbury making the team or not? I say he does. That is part one of the equation. Part two, the Phillies are on a 3-game winning streak with Aaron Nola going up against Justin Verlander tonight. Rob Thomson stated yesterday before the game, Taijuan Walker will start on Wednesday one more time. Why? Why do this to me? Scheduled loss on Wednesday. They're all on the agenda, and we are also obviously honoring one of the greatest big men of all time in the wrestling world, the master and ruler of the world, Psycho Sid Vicious. Can reference the Clover Bomb because of the troubles. Yeah. The autumn wind is a Raider. It is a famous line from the great John. Oh, well, learn something new every day. Lenny Dykstra hangs out in there when he's in Philly. No surprise. No surprise. The dude. That would be one right there. I'd love to get Lenny Dykstra on this show one day. A, so we can talk baseball. But B, so I can call him out for standing me up for an autograph when I was 13 years old and asking 13-year-old Phil, minus the beard and minus the beer gut, if you want that autograph, give me $50. I need Lenny Dykstra on this show so I can call him out, basically. This does not shock me. This is meant to be a joke, probably, but honestly, oh, man, it's probably true. I see Matty B's name popped up in the thing. I haven't read it yet, but great. Giants cannot cut Jones until after 2025. You still might have to cut him. I don't know how much more they can do with him. He does. Last week was his first time he pitched in over 2 months, so he's still a little rusty, but yeah. Dude. Yeah, not many men are luckier than him when they get home. Absolutely. Yes, touche. Let's see what Matty B has to say. With the number 2 pick in 2016, would have been better than who the Eagles picked. Oh, my God. No one was taking him in the number 2 pick overall. I don't even remember. What year was 2016? Which draft class was that? I'm doing a quick Google search here on this. Eagles 2016 draft. Oh, that was the Carson Wentz draft. So it wasn't the Nick Foles. I was off on that one. Come on now. Dak Prescott hasn't played in a Super Bowl. Carson Wentz hasn't either, but at least he's helped lead a team to get to the point to get to a Super Bowl. I still say, Matty B, and you may disagree with me on this because, why not? That Carson Wentz's downfall could have been subverted if he didn't take that concussion. I really, truly believe that. That Jadeveon Clowney concussion hit against the Seahawks in the playoffs. He was teetering, like he was an MVP candidate in 17. Obviously, 18 he was good. 2019, he pretty much went. It was basically Carson Wentz with Greg Ward and Boston Scott got us to the playoffs. That concussion. Yeah, he might not have been the greatest locker room leader, Carson Wentz, but that concussion just changed him a little too much. Just saying. My opinion. That's the autumn wind in a pirate poem. 13-year-old Phil, new addition to the multiverse, the opposite of old man Logan. Yeah. We're adding 13-year-old Phil to the multiverse. That's right. He is recovering from a stroke. I know. Look, I could ask him, I guess. And I guess I would have to be very professional if I ever got him on. But yeah, with the stroke, I doubt he could be doing any appearances. But who doesn't want to? Lenny Dykstra is also kind of, to an extent, a dirtbag, a scumbag, very sexist. He's not the coolest, or the most well-liked people. Big picture. But I still love to have him on. It would be a dream to have someone like him on. Clowney's dirty hits have ended a lot of careers. Absolutely. Absolutely. I really, truly, firmly believe that if Carson doesn't get that hit to the back of the head, it hit him right here, the soft spot of the back of the head. I know he's got a helmet on, but still. And every time I think about it, I feel that spot on my head where he got hit. And I really think that 2020 would have turned out differently. Jalen Hurts' career would have turned out differently. And the Eagles' history over the last 4 years, maybe we don't get to the 2022 Super Bowl. Maybe we win one in 2021. I don't know. Maybe Doug Peterson doesn't get fired. Maybe we never meet next year. Like, everything changed in the Eagles' history. Some of it for the better as soon as Clowney gave that dirty hit to Carson Wentz. Just saying. That is my opinion. I stick to it. Wentz was not mentally tough enough. Absolutely. But I think that, I remember reading reports that, he was literally, randomly emotionally, 'cause there's this thing that, when you get really bad concussions, you just sporadically like burst out in tears, and that he was like massively crying after the concussion in the locker room before the game was over, but he didn't know why. Like, I really think that hit did some real serious damage to not only the fact he was already not a mentally tough enough player, but he was a talented quarterback. We can't take away the fact that he was had potential to be a great quarterback. But something switched in his mind, and he went from not being mentally tough enough to being soft. I mean, it's crazy. 93, he was my favorite along with, I was a Kruk, Dalton, Dykstra third. Certain humility to do that. Dykstra ran a pyramid scheme like a decade ago, and the IRS took him so hard. He should have stuck to the car washes. I forgot he had car washes. Or maybe Carson Wentz sucked. I mean, Carson Wentz, we do not win a Super Bowl in 2017 without Carson Wentz's MVP performance through the first 13, 14 weeks of the season. Maybe it was 15 weeks of the season. What, Nick Foles started, 2 games at the end of the season? I forget. But anyway, he did not suck. He was a very talented quarterback that ended up with a boatload of injuries. Mentally tough is throwing a touchdown on a torn ACL. That concussion, I stand by it that concussion really ruined Carson Wentz's career. Dallas took Zeke at 4. I would say they were pretty identical with career progressions. Great to start the hard. Lenny Dykstra facing jail time for cocaine, meth possession, terrorist threats. Yeah, I think I agree, Anthony. I agree. I just really want to call out Lenny Dykstra for turning me down. Lenny Dykstra is the kind of guy that someone like Mr. No Notes would have on his show. So honestly, let's strike that. I don't want Lenny Dykstra on this show. I don't want to stoop to his level. And I wouldn't want to personally have to call someone out live on this show, when they're a guest on the show. Yeah, but Micah Parsons will get a big increase after this year. Maybe during the year. So that's that. I am not an obedient Howie lapdogs. I don't understand still. Like, Matty B's hatred for Howie Roseman is like what people think I have hatred for Rob Thomson. I think it's just a Matty B gimmick. Let's say, let's put it to a poll. There's 109 people that are watching or have watched. That right now there's, about 30 or 40 watching live. Is Matty B's hatred for Howie Roseman just a gimmick? I say yes. What does the rest of the commenters have to say about that? I think Matty B is going full, Dan Silly Man this morning. He goes full Dan Silly Man anytime he's in the comments. He does. I mean, what do you want me to do? Is it a gimmick or not a gimmick? Howie Roseman has built 2 Super Bowl teams. One winner, one not winner. So you know what? Big Sills is just doing a bit. Matty B hate is real. Gotcha. Yes, it's a bit. It's not even real. I agree. Yeah, he's just the heel. He's like the Big Show. Turns heel every other minute. He's turned heel 47 times in his career, Matty B. Maybe more. I don't know. Let's do a quick. Let me do a quick research here. A quick refresh of Twitter here. I gotta see any other moves that have been made. That's not news right there. That's why do I see a picture of Ian Rappaport mentioning the Eagles are releasing Trey Sermon? Like, why would you share that? That's obviously from 2023. Just trying to see if any other news. I really thought we'd see more than just one news. Nichols being cut by this point of the show today. On a side note, I don't know if you guys caught it that Anita Smith probably will be going on IR or PUP because he, I guess, complaining about an injury after the last preseason game. So that's how they sneak him onto the roster without putting him on the roster, and we don't have to worry about losing Smith to IR or to waivers. Smith is basically getting a phantom IR stint or IL stint. How he's the best GM in the league, and it isn't even close. No one navigates the cap. Look, is the best? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But I guarantee you he's a top 3 or 4. I mean, his track record was bad early in his career, but he has flipped the script on his career. He has evolved. He has learned and adjusted how he builds rosters. And if you can't see that, not you specifically, Anthony, someone else, I don't know what to tell you. He has grown massively, leaps and bounds, since his time exiled to the equipment closet. Howie would have another GM gig before. Absolutely. We've said this like 1,000 times, Duck. Like Howie would have his pick of jobs. Other teams would fire their GMs to have a shot at Howie Roseman. Smith is injured. Yeah, exactly, Duck. As soon as I saw the report that he was dealing with an injury, it was Howie realizing they can't get him through waivers to the practice squad, but yet he's not good enough to make the roster. So you just injury list him, whether it's the short-term injury list or the long-term injured reserves. Whatever. It's all good. Howie is a competitive advantage 30 other teams would kill. I'm telling you, Jerry Jones would fire himself as GM to bring in Howie Roseman. Like, I literally legitly think that would be a scenario that could happen. I know it sounds weird, but Jerry Jones would fire himself to hire Howie Roseman. I think that's an honest statement. I really, truly do. Howie is the best capologist in the league. Best GM is going a little far. I think he is one of the best. I never said he was the best. Other people did. But he's definitely a top 3, top 4 general manager in the league. There's no doubt about it, in my opinion. Okay, which team would get Howie if he were to leave Philly? Every team would try. I legitimately think every single team would try to sign him. I do. I really, truly do. Just going through this waiver wire list one more time to see if anything's happened as we get close to the end of the show for today. Nothing. Jahan really hitting the ball really well for the Phillies. On a side note, nothing else breaking news wise right now. What's up, Davey boy? How's the roster looking? Look, no surprises yet on the cuts. And I just was refreshing it as I saw your comment. Nothing surprising yet. So there's that. But what team do you think Howie would pick from his list? Whoever gave him the most money and the most power. Howie Roseman, to me, is someone that might even try to buy a team at some point in his life. Look, the NFL is about to pass a rule. I'm just thinking of this right now. The NFL is about to pass a rule where teams can sell off 10% of their team to certain listed people. And Jeffrey Lurie is already at the forefront wanting to sell 10% of his team, which would net him about $750, $800 million. A team would probably a percentage of the team to get him to come. I wouldn't be shocked. Capologist is the job now. Teams lose talent every year due to poor cap management. Absolutely. Matt B just comes in, throws some cayenne pepper in the pot, stirs it up, and rolls. I love it. I love it. That's right. That's what he does. Little cayenne pepper. He takes the pepper, rubs it in your eye, and then just rolls out of here. How he kicks the can, there's no magic. Yeah. Kicks the can, sure. But he still knows how to find ways around it. The way I look at it is this way, Nooms. Okay, with Howie Roseman. I forget the exact number now. But in 2021, we obviously took, at the time, the biggest cap hit ever. Dead cap hit for a player by trading away Carson Wentz. What was it, like a $50 million dead cap hit in 2021? He was still able to maneuver the cap to build a playoff roster with a basic rookie, Jalen Hurts, as your quarterback, and a rookie head coach. That is what Howie Roseman does. Howie Roseman not just builds great teams, not only just manages the roster well, but he knows how. The people that say he's not a football guy, you don't build a playoff roster in 2021 with that dead cap hit on Carson Wentz's contract and a rookie head coach if you don't know what you're doing. Those coordinator hires weren't great last year. No, they weren't. Look, no GM is perfect, but he hits a lot more than he misses. I don't know, Anthony. That's why you see a lot of teams try to lure Howie's people. That's why Joe Douglas got it. Like the Howie Roseman GM tree versus like the coaching trees and stuff like that. Everybody won. Laurie was behind those coordinator hires, in my opinion. Possibly, for sure. And since 2021, how many Super Bowl champions have there been? Just answer it this way. Name every team that's won a Super Bowl since 2021. Tampa and Kansas City. 3 years, 2 teams have won a Super Bowl. That's it. So you're looking at such a weird way to look at it. Yes, we haven't won a Super Bowl since 2017. I get that. But every year you don't win the Super Bowl, you can't just fire everybody. Jeffrey Lurie can't say everybody on the team. If you're saying that this and that about Howie Roseman, and you got to fire Nick Sirianni, you got to fire Jalen Hurts, you got to fire A.J. Brown, you shouldn't have given Devontae Smith his extension. Fletcher Cox and Kelsey should have been out of here after 2021 because he didn't win a Super Bowl. Stupid. No offense. That's a stupid statement right there. The coordinators were Jalen's family friends at OC, and Desai was considered I didn't consider him a young up-and-comer. I didn't, but others did, yes. And he was part of the Fangio tree. Absolutely agree. 1,000% with this. He does live and breathe football. What's up, little G? How you doing this morning? Nirvana fallacy. Yeah, that's right. If that is the case, Mike Tomlin would have been gone years ago. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes a little stability in the organization. A little stability goes a long way. Right? I mean, it's just a dumb statement. It's a gimmick. Matty B is legitly a gimmick. And I'm just going to say it. A legit gimmick. I'm sure the Chiefs don't think that's a weird way to look at it. Okay. The Chiefs are the premier organization with one of the greatest quarterbacks. Already, in my opinion, a top 4 quarterback of all time. And one of the top 5 coaches of all time. Okay? And with your scenario, Andy Reid should have been fired every single year he was the Eagles head coach. Exactly. Go root for the Chiefs then. Like, I don't get it. Like, is Howie Roseman perfect? Absolutely not. But he is still, out of the 32 GMs in the NFL, one of the 3 or 4 best in the league. Only one GM builds a Super Bowl winning roster every year. So by Matty B's opinion and interpretation, every GM but the Chiefs GM should have been fired after last season. Every single one of them. And that's just ludicrousy. Do I ever eat cookies with my coffee? I have breakfast before I come down here. I can't eat on the air. I don't buy. I'm not trying to dig. I doubt he's watching right now. But I'm not trying to dig at Mr. Jeffrey. I don't eat on the air when I'm doing shows. Just only 3 people get that joke. But, and none of them are watching right now. 31 teams have to fire their GM every year, I guess. Exactly, Anthony. That's what makes, I couldn't say the word. Couldn't get the words out of my mouth, K1. Thank you. It's ludicrousy. Oh, well, literally, every team that didn't fire their GM must be lapdogs for their GM. Is John Lynch still the 49ers GM? Is whoever the Ravens GM still the Ravens GM? Detroit Lions didn't fire their GM after last year. Who else? Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones is still the GM. The Giants GM is still the GM. The Bengals GM is still the GM. It's just a dumb take. It's a dumb take that makes 0 sense. Oh, I already put that one. I forgot to star those. Sorry. John Lynch is a better GM. This is the first year San Francisco has had money issues. How is John Lynch definitely a better GM? Just ask him. How many Super Bowl teams? Well, was he there? How long? I don't even know how long. I want to backtrack on saying he's not a better GM. I don't know if he's better or not. I would have to look at how long he's been there. Was he there when the 49ers played the Ravens in the Super Bowl? I don't know. I don't know how long. He is definitely in that top 5 conversation. Honestly, I could name 4 GMs in the entire NFL. I just look at the teams, how they're built, their long-term track success. The 49ers have some success. He is definitely a top GM. Is he better than Howie Roseman? I'm teetering on that right now. But I do know that he is a great GM. They don't get a cheap quarterback anymore. San Francisco has Purdy making $0. Yeah, let's see how he does once he gets Purdy. We talk about Dak Prescott's contract all the time. What's a Brock Purdy contract going to look like after this year? It's going to be expensive. He is a top GM. Is he the top GM? Doubtful. According to Matty B, John Lynch should be fired. That was a unbelievably. Could you imagine what Matty B would be saying if Howie Roseman picked Trey Lance and everything worked out the same way? Like, seriously. He was there during Kaepernick. I couldn't remember if he's been there that long or not. Yeah, no way a top GM trade. Like, yeah, that's pretty bad. Kyle Shanahan might be making John Lynch good, though. I don't know. And this might be weird to say. I kind of feel like John Lynch makes Kyle Shanahan better. I think Kyle Shanahan's a smidge. He's really good, but he's a smidge overrated, in my opinion. Good morning, Chad. How you doing this morning? 17 likes, not bad. Guys, we got like 8 minutes left in the show. Let's get those likes. If you're watching the show on YouTube, pound that like button. If you're watching on Facebook, smash that like button. Guys, likes, and shares, and subscribes. It's what's important. It's what gets me to continue to grow this great show. Purdy would get $50 million a year contract. Yeah, probably. Yeah. One of the worst, for sure. And there's a lot of them. John Lynch brought in Shanahan. That makes him smart too, right? For that decision. John Lynch is way better at drafting than Howie. I mean, Howie didn't draft Trey Lance. Howie didn't trade up for Trey Lance. Howie's drafting comes under a microscope because of his early career misses. But Howie in the last 3 years has been pretty damn spot on. Carson Wentz wasn't just a good leader. He let a rookie Hurts walk in the locker room and become the man with ease. I still don't think the Carson Wentz draft pick was way better than the Trey Lance draft pick. Clearly, honestly. Howie's better at all the other stuff. He's a better player he's better at trading, maneuvering, and making trades. For sure. I think that the Jags current GM, I think that was the Jags current GM, not Lynch. What, the Trey Lance thing? I don't know. You got to specify that. Lynch has only been GM since 17. San Francisco's ass cheeks with C.J. Beathard as quarterback. That draft turned them around. Look, anyway. The point of it is that Howie Roseman is not a bad GM. Anybody that thinks he's a bad GM is just running a gimmick. It's a gimmick. Plain and simple. Guys, we got 5 minutes. We're in the wrap-up process a couple minutes early here. Definitely got to get into the shop here. Pretty soon. Got a pretty big pizza order to make here as soon as I get in. Was the GM of the 49ers during the Ravens Super Bowl. All right, so I got one person saying he was there. Now I got Brian saying he wasn't. Guys, you guys in the comments, we're up to 256 comments on the show, 257 comments on the show. You guys got to get your stats on the same page here. Your facts straight. Every fact that you guys tell me. One says one thing, whether it's who's taller, Nolan Smith or Hassan Reddick, who's the GM of the 49ers. There's always contradicting stats and facts in the comments. You got to get it right. Matty Beal's playing heel, and we all know it. Bad character. Yeah, exactly. It's bad character. Matty B. Duck is getting like X-Pac heat right now, basically. And if you know, you know. But again, we're wrapping this show up in a few minutes here, guys. But make sure, any last comments on the Eagles cuts? Tomorrow we'll know who the 53-man roster is. Tomorrow we will wrap our head around what Howie Roseman did today by 4 p.m. It's got to get the roster to 53 players. We'll see if Aaron Nola can keep the win streak going. If they get the win tonight, I might be ready to say the Phillies are back. Might be. Did I miss anything else? I spent plenty of time talking about Sid Vicious for sure. Joel Embiid was at the Phillies game last night. I love to see that. Was still an analyst at Fox at that point. Gotcha. Well, I don't know about that. I'm pulling it from memory. Is pulling it from Google Box, I'm sure. Okay, gotcha. That's the thing. Like, I've got a side screen with some things up. I got 5 tabs open up on this screen, and I've got a mouse that the battery needs to be replaced. So I can't go clicking on different tabs nonstop because then I'll accidentally close the show out in the middle of the show. Plus, I don't have a producer. I can't do everything all at once here. So, Trent Blake was his name. Okay, gotcha. All right, gotcha. Look at that. I love it. John Lynch is paying his franchise quarterback minimum wage. Let's see how he does. Exactly. Literally minimum wage. I pay pizza makers more. Anyway, with that being said, guys, I think we'll do the wrap up right now. You've been watching Trending in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. I am Phil Stiefel. We'll be back tomorrow. See if the Phillies win or not. Does James Bradbury make the team like I think he will? You know what? Before we wrap it up, I'm going to refresh Twitter one more time to see if stupid. I hate when people do that. I love you, Adam Mack, but breaking news, Jalen Hurts made the team. Stop. You know, the amount of breaking news, A.J. Brown makes a team or Jalen Hurts makes a team that I'll see today drives me nuts. It's so stupid. Anything, nothing. No other Eagles news breaking as of this moment, so we'll go with that. You pay pizza maker? I wish I made, as the owner, $200K a year. I mean, I'm not a millionaire because I own a pizza shop, like some people think. The GM Detroit is quietly the best GM, and he is, well, according to Matty B's interpretation of what makes a good GM, he should have been fired after last year. Just saying. And yes, Doug, let's get this wrapped up. You're all watching Trending the AM. Like, share, subscribe, follow. That's all I can beg and ask of you. It is free to do those things. It doesn't cost you a thing to support a content creator, guys. With that being said, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel, 8 a.m. For Edge of Philly Sports. I am the master and ruler of the world. Ring the bell. Go Birds. And bubbles up to y'all.